The Postman, Chapter 1. Special Delivery. I hate Tuesdays. Doesn't matter if it's Earth or this godforsaken metal donut floating in space, Tuesdays are universally designed to crush your soul, especially when you're knee-deep in the package overflow from a supply shuttle delay. Package verification incomplete. Please confirm recipient information. Odin chirps in my ear for the 15th time today. My AI assistant has all the personality of a broken toaster and half the usefulness. Override. Confirming Smith, J Medical, Section 8, I grunt, tossing the small package into the appropriate bin. My scanner beeps in protest, but accepts the override. 1 down, 200 to go. I pop another pain pill dry, wincing as it catches in my throat. My right knee throbs like it's auditioning for its own percussion section. Old wrestling injury from high school, a lifetime ago on Earth, when I was somebody who mattered. Now, I'm just the aging package guy with the permanent limp, Alex Decker, Senior Package Verification Specialist. Fancy title for delivers shit nobody wants to fetch themselves. The distribution center hums with the mechanical symphony of conveyor belts, pneumatic tubes, and sorting machines. It's my sanctuary of predictable chaos, unlike the rest of my life, which is just chaos minus the predictable part. Priority medical delivery awaiting verification, Odin announces. Requested by Dr. Park. Yeah, on it. I check my watch. 13:30 station time. My daughter shuttle docked 2 hours ago. The daughter I haven't seen in 18 months. The daughter who's probably still pissed that I moved to a giant metal wheel in space instead of staying in Chicago, where I could at least pretend to be a part-time dad. But the station pays triple what Earth Postal Services do. When your ex-wife's lawyer is better than yours and child support is crushing you, you go where the money is, even if it's 238,900 miles from home. I grab Dr. Park's package and toss it into my delivery satchel. Medical gets priority, which means I need to haul ass across half the station's circumference. At least it'll give me an excuse to be late meeting Sari. Message from Sari Decker, ODIN announces. Text only. I'm at your apartment. Door won't recognize me. Where are you? Shit. Reply. Technical difficulty at work. Use override code 5591. There's synthetic coffee in the kitchen. Make yourself at home. Be there in an hour. The pneumatic tube beside me hisses and spits out another package. The label reads, Fragile Scientific Equipment. Naturally, whatever's inside rattles like it's been through a meteor shower. I shoulder my satchel and head for the exit, limping slightly as my knee protests the day's accumulated strain. The doors slide open to reveal the bustling commercial district of the wheel. Artificial sunlight streams through the transparent ceiling panels, creating the illusion that we're not actually trapped in a rotating metal can orbiting Earth. People brush past me without a second glance. 3 years on this station, and I've perfected the art of invisibility. I'm just background noise to these people. The guy who delivers their packages, not a person, just a function. It's almost a superpower, being this forgettable. The station's curved corridor stretches before me, following the gentle arc of the wheel. Storefronts displaying luxury Earth goods line the wall to my left, while the right side features viewport windows showing the blackness of space. Earth, a blue-white marble hanging impossibly distant. I cut through a service door using my delivery clearance, stepping into the cramped maintenance corridor that runs parallel to the main thoroughfare. These narrow passages are the station's arteries, used by service personnel to keep the glamorous public spaces functioning. They're ugly, utilitarian, and will save me 15 minutes getting to medical. My knee bumps against a protruding pipe, sending a sharp pain up my leg. Fuck, I hiss, nearly dropping my scanner. I should have had that knee properly fixed years ago. But who has time for proper medical care when you're working 60-hour weeks just to stay afloat? The maintenance corridor opens into one of the station's spokes, the long passageways connecting the wheel to the central hub. Gravity gradually lessens here as I move toward the station's center. My limp becomes less pronounced as the pressure on my knee decreases. Small mercies. The spoke is bustling with station personnel and civilians moving between the wheel and the hub. Magnetic rails carry cargo and passengers alike. I step onto a personnel platform, swiping my badge for access. The platform accelerates smoothly, carrying me toward medical. Odin, update delivery schedule, I say, adjusting my satchel. Schedule updated, Odin replies. 9 deliveries remaining after medical. Estimated completion time, 16:45. Great. Plenty of time to finish my route and still have an awkward dinner with my daughter. Maybe we can sit in uncomfortable silence for a while before she tells me what a shitty father I am. Fun times. The platform slows as it reaches medical, which occupies a prime section of the wheel with reinforced gravity for patient comfort. I step off, gravity pulling at my knee again, and the familiar ache returns. The medical sector gleams with sterile white surfaces and soft blue lighting. Unlike the commercial district's warm hues, everything here is crisp and antiseptic. The nurse at the front desk doesn't look up as I approach. Delivery for doctor. Park, I say, placing my scanner on the counter. She spares me the briefest glance. She's in surgery 3. You'll need to log it yourself. Of course I will. I take back my scanner and head down the corridor toward the surgical suites. The doors are glass, allowing me to see the medical staff at work inside each room. Surgery 3 is at the end of the hall, and through the glass I can see Dr. Ellie Park bent over an open patient, her hands steady as she manipulates some surgical tool I can't identify. I tap the intercom. Delivery, Dr. Park. She doesn't look up. Come in, set it on the counter. Don't touch anything else. The door slides open, and I step inside, careful to stay away from the sterile field. Dr. Park continues her work, not acknowledging my presence. I place the package on the designated counter and scan it as delivered. Signed for by proxy, I mutter, logging the delivery into my system. Thanks, Alex, Dr. Park says, still not looking up. At least she knows my name. That's more than most people on this station. How's the knee today? Same as always, hurts like a bitch. You should let me look at it sometime. That limp's getting worse. Maybe when I have a day off, I reply, knowing full well that's not happening anytime soon. Your choice. She glances up briefly, eyes visible above her surgical mask. Heard your daughter's visiting. That must be nice. I pause at the door. Yeah, first time in a year and a half. Make the most of it, Alex. Kids grow up fast. She returns her attention to her patient. Oh, and tell Captain Wells his physical results are ready when you see him. He's been avoiding my calls. Will do. As if on cue, my next delivery takes me to station security, near the junction between the wheel and the central hub. The security sector is a stark contrast to medical. Darker lighting, reinforced doors, and a general atmosphere of controlled tension. Captain Marcus Wells is in the middle of briefing his security team when I arrive. Unlike most people on the station, he actually notices me enter. Maybe it's his military training, awareness of his surroundings and all that. Decker, he acknowledges with a curt nod, not pausing his briefing. And I want double patrols in the docking sections. Those supply manifests don't match what's actually coming aboard. I set his package, a small Earth import item marked personal, on his desk and scan it. Probably real coffee or tobacco. The good stuff from Earth is worth its weight in antimatter up here. Doctor, Park says your physical results are ready, I say when he pauses for breath. She says you're avoiding her calls. This draws a few snickers from his team. Wells scowls at me. Anything else, Decker? Nope. Have a great day, Captain. I offer a mock salute and turn to leave. Hold on, Wells calls. Since you're here, any unusual packages come through lately? We've had some discrepancies in the manifests. I shrug. Nothing I've noticed, but I just deliver the stuff. I don't inspect it. Wells studies me for a moment, then dismisses me with a wave. If you see anything suspicious, report it. Will do, Captain. As I leave security, I can't help but wonder what they're so concerned about. Smuggling is nothing new on the station. Everybody wants Earth luxuries, and there's always someone willing to bypass import taxes to provide them. But increased security patrols? That's unusual. I continue my route through the central hub, the zero-gravity heart of the station. Most people hate delivering here, but I've gotten good at maneuvering in zero-G despite my bad knee. In fact, it's one of the few places where my knee doesn't bother me at all. The central hub houses the station's docking bays, administrative offices, and industrial facilities. It's a maze of corridors and open spaces, filled with floating cargo and busy personnel in magnetic boots. I push off walls and grab handrails, propelling myself from one delivery point to the next. My watch beeps. 3 p.m. I still have 5 deliveries left, and Sari is waiting. I pick up the pace, determined to finish early. That's when the station-wide alert begins. A pulsing tone echoes through the corridors, followed by the automated announcement system. Attention all personnel and residents. Unidentified vessels approaching Nexus Prime. This is not a drill. Security teams to designated alert positions. All non-essential personnel return to quarters immediately. Around me, people pause, looking up at the speakers in confusion. Then, as if by unspoken agreement, everyone starts moving faster. Station workers head to their emergency stations. Civilians begin floating rapidly toward the nearest gravity sections. I check my remaining deliveries, all non-essential. I should probably head back to my apartment, make sure Sari's okay. But something doesn't feel right. 3 years on this station, and we've never had an unidentified vessels alert. Odin, station status? I ask. Multiple system fluctuations detected. Security protocols engaged. External communication networks experiencing disruption. That doesn't sound like a drill. I push off toward the nearest viewport, joining several others who have paused to look outside. Through the reinforced glass, I see them. 3 ships, unlike any I've ever seen. They're smooth, almost organic in design, with no visible propulsion systems. They're massive, each one at least the size of a pre-fusion Earth destroyer, and they're positioning themselves at equidistant points around the station. "Those aren't ours," someone whispers. "No shit, Sherlock." The station's emergency lights activate, bathing everything in a pulsing red glow. The overhead speakers crackle, and Captain Wells's voice comes through, tense but controlled. "All security personnel to defensive positions. Civilian population, please proceed calmly to designated shelter areas. This is not..." His voice cuts off mid-sentence, replaced by static, then silence. People around me start moving with greater urgency. A woman shoves past me, panic evident on her face. Station personnel float rapidly toward emergency positions. I should get back to my apartment, to Sari. But first, I need to reach the wheel. Can't exactly float my way through rotating gravity sections. I make my way to the nearest transition lock, where people can safely move between 0G and gravity environments. It's crowded with others trying to do the same thing. "Emergency protocols activated," announces the station AI. "Transition locks operating at reduced capacity. Please proceed in an orderly..." The station shudders violently. Not the gentle vibration of normal operations, but a powerful impact that sends floating people and objects careening in all directions. I grab a handrail to stabilize myself as alarms begin blaring. "Hull breach detected in docking section 3, the AI announces, voice eerily calm. "Emergency bulkheads engaged." More impacts shake the station. Through a nearby viewport, I see smaller craft detaching from the large ships. Sleek, predatory-looking vessels heading toward our docking bays. "They're boarding!" someone shouts. "They're fucking boarding us!" Panic ripples through the crowd at the transition lock. People start pushing, shoving, desperately trying to get through to the wheel. A security officer tries to maintain order, but it's a losing battle. "Stand back!" the officer shouts, drawing his stun baton. "We'll get everyone through, but you need to..." The lights flicker and die, plunging us into darkness. Emergency lighting kicks in seconds later, casting everything in that hellish red glow. The security officer's comm device crackles with frantic voices before cutting out entirely. The station shudders again, closer this time, somewhere in the central hub. "Fuck this," I mutter, abandoning the crowded transition lock. I know another way to the wheel, a maintenance access used for moving large equipment. It's further away, but likely less crowded. I push off down a service corridor, passing panicked station workers heading in various directions. Some are crying, others wear expressions of grim determination. No one pays attention to the package guy. As I round a corner, I hear it, a sound unlike anything I've ever encountered, a series of clicks and whistles, followed by words in heavily accented English. "Secure this section. Any resistance, terminate." I freeze, then carefully peer around the corner. They're tall, at least 6.5 feet, with gray skin and elongated limbs. Their heads are larger than human proportion, and they're wearing some kind of exoskeletal armor that seems to move with them like a second skin. 4 of them float at the junction ahead, weapons drawn, sleek devices that look more grown than manufactured, definitely not human. Between them float several terrified station personnel, hands secured behind their backs with glowing restraints. One of the creatures gestures with its weapon, directing the humans down a corridor toward the main docking bay. I pull back, heart hammering in my chest. Aliens. Actual fucking aliens. And they're taking prisoners, not just killing everyone outright. That's something, I guess. The maintenance access is just past that junction. To reach it, I'll have to cross directly in front of them. Not happening. Think, Alex, think. My eyes fall on a cargo conveyor running along the wall, one of the automated systems that moves supplies through the central hub. Its continuous belt disappears into a narrow tunnel designed for cargo, not people. But I'm not exactly large, and right now, being trapped in a tight space seems preferable to being captured by aliens. I wait until the aliens are distracted, then push off silently toward the conveyor. I grab the edge and pull myself onto the moving belt, trying to ignore the way my knee protests as I contort myself to fit into the tunnel. The belt lurches into motion, carrying me away from the junction just as one of the aliens turns in my direction. I hold my breath, pressing myself flat against the conveyor as I slide into the tunnel's darkness. The tunnel is barely wide enough for my shoulders, forcing me to keep my arms pinned to my sides. The conveyor moves at a steady pace, carrying me deeper into the station's infrastructure. My mild claustrophobia kicks in immediately, sending a surge of panic through my chest. Breathe, Alex. Just breathe. The tunnel seems endless, a black tube broken only by the occasional status light on the walls. I have no idea where it leads, but anywhere is better than back there. After what feels like eternity but is probably only minutes, the tunnel widens slightly, allowing me to shift to a marginally more comfortable position. My knee throbs in protest at being kept bent for so long. "Odin," I whisper, "where does this conveyor lead?" "Calculating," Odin replies, voice low in my earpiece. Conveyor route terminates at main sorting facility, section F of the wheel. The package distribution center. My starting point this morning, at least I'll be back in gravity, where I can actually run if needed. The conveyor begins to slope downward, indicating we're approaching the wheel. Gravity gradually returns as I move deeper into the gravity zone, the increasing weight making the ride less comfortable with each passing second. The tunnel finally opens into a large, dimly lit space, the automated receiving area of the distribution center. The conveyor deposits me unceremoniously onto a padding mat, my body suddenly heavy after the zero-G of the central hub. I lay there for a moment, catching my breath and letting my body readjust to gravity. My knee screams as I straighten it, but I ignore the pain. I need to get to Sari. The distribution center appears deserted, the machines idle in emergency mode. The only sound is the distant wail of alarms. I pull myself to my feet and limp toward the staff office, a glass-walled room overlooking the sorting floor with monitors connected to the station's security system. The office is empty, workstations abandoned in haste. Half-finished coffee cups and personal items scattered around suggest everyone left in a hurry. I slide into the security console chair and access the system using my delivery credentials. To my surprise, it works. Most of the security feeds are offline, but some still function, cycling through various station areas. What I see makes my blood run cold. Groups of humans being herded through corridors. Aliens methodically searching rooms and compartments. Security personnel either captured or lying motionless on the floor. I cycle through the feeds frantically, looking for any sign of Sari, the residential ring where my apartment is located, the commercial district, the hydroponics gardens where teenagers often hang out. Come on, I mutter, searching for any glimpse of my daughter's distinctive blue hair among the chaos. The feed from my apartment sector appears, showing aliens systematically entering each residence, weapons drawn. I watch in horror as they reach my door, override the lock with some device, and enter. Moments later, they emerge, shoving a struggling figure ahead of them. Sari, her blue hair unmistakable even on the grainy security feed. She's fighting against their grip, kicking at the nearest alien until one of them presses something against her neck. Her struggles cease instantly, body going limp as they secure her hands with glowing restraints. No! I slam my fist on the console, helpless rage boiling through me. I should have been there, should have canceled my route, met her at the docking bay, done anything but leave her alone on the day aliens decided to invade. I continue cycling through feeds, tracking where they're taking her. The feed from the Central Hub's main gathering area appears. Dozens, maybe hundreds of humans kneeling on the floor, hands secured behind them. Aliens patrol the perimeter, weapons ready. The captives are being separated into groups, though the criteria isn't obvious. And there she is, Sari. Her blue hair unmistakable even on the grainy security feed. She kneels with a group of other teenagers, eyes wide with fear, but chin raised defiantly. Even captured, she's got more spine than I ever had. As I watch, a new figure enters the frame, taller than the other aliens, with distinctive scarring on the right side of its face. Its exoskeleton is more elaborate, with what appear to be ceremonial markings. The way the other aliens defer to it makes its rank obvious. This is someone in charge. The alien commander approaches the human captives, studying them with clinical detachment. It consults some kind of device, then begins speaking. Though the security feed has no audio, I can see the reactions of the humans: confusion, fear, anger. Sari says something, and the commander turns to her. Even through the grainy feed, I can see the intensity of its gaze as it studies my daughter. It responds to whatever she said, then motions to its subordinates, who begin moving her group toward a different area. I feel a surge of panic. Where are they taking her? What are they going to do? The feed suddenly switches to static, then changes to another area of the station. I frantically try to return to the previous view, but the system won't respond. More feeds go dark one by one, leaving me with fewer and fewer windows into what's happening. I slam my fist on the console, frustration and fear boiling over. Fuck! I need to do something. But what? I'm just the package guy. I have no weapons, no training, no... My thoughts freeze as a realization hits me. The aliens are systematically capturing everyone they find, which means... Am I the only one who got away? The thought is so absurd I almost laugh. Out of everyone on this station, security personnel, military attachés, actual important people, the middle-aged postal worker with the bad knee is the one who slipped through the cracks. It makes a twisted kind of sense. I've spent my entire career being invisible. Why should an alien invasion be any different? I look back at the remaining security feeds. The aliens are methodical, thorough. They're not killing indiscriminately. They're cataloging, processing, like they're taking inventory of the humans aboard, which means Sari might stay alive, at least for now. And if she's alive, I have a chance to find her. I know this station better than almost anyone. Every service corridor, every maintenance shaft, every forgotten storage room. The aliens may control the main areas, but the infrastructure, the veins and arteries of this metal beast, those are my domain. For the first time since the invasion began, I feel something other than fear, something hot and unfamiliar burning in my chest. Anger. I was supposed to have dinner with my daughter tonight, our first real conversation in 18 months, my chance to finally start fixing our relationship. Instead, she's being processed by alien invaders while I hide in the fucking mailroom. I look at my hands, calloused, scarred from years of handling packages. Not a fighter's hands, but they're what I've got. I don't know what these aliens want. I don't know why they've come, but they've taken my daughter, and that's the only thing that matters right now. I access one last security feed, catching a glimpse of the alien commander addressing the captured humans. I can't hear the words, but the message is clear in the terrified expressions of the captives. Your world is no longer yours. We'll see about that, I whisper, as determination replaces fear. We'll fucking see about that. I begin assembling whatever might be useful. My scanner, box cutter, a length of utility cord from a supply drawer. Not much of an arsenal, but it's a start. I access the station schematics on the terminal, downloading them to my tablet before the aliens cut network access completely. Hour 1 of the invasion, and already I'm planning how to fight back. Not because I'm brave, not because I'm a hero, but because my daughter is out there, and I'm not leaving this station without her. Special delivery, assholes. The package guy is coming. Chapter 2. Return to Sender. Hour 7 of the invasion, and I've already memorized every crack in the ceiling of my makeshift hideout. The package distribution center isn't exactly prime real estate, but it has 3 essential qualities: access to security feeds, proximity to maintenance tunnels, and most importantly, the aliens seem to consider it too insignificant to guard heavily. Apparently, mail delivery isn't high on their invasion priority list. Their mistake. Just you and me now, buddy, I whisper to the industrial-grade auto stapler on the desk. Think we can take 'em? The stapler doesn't respond. Probably the smart move. After watching Sari's capture on the security feeds, I spent the first few hours frantically cycling between camera views, tracking alien movements and patrol patterns. I've barricaded the main door with a filing cabinet and locked the service entrance with my override codes. Not that it would stop those aliens if they really wanted in, but it might slow them down long enough for me to crawl into the ventilation system, assuming I can handle the claustrophobia and that my knee doesn't lock up halfway through. Jesus, I'm so fucked. I checked the security monitors again. I've tapped into what's left of the station's surveillance system, though most cameras are either disabled or showing the same thing: empty corridors or groups of captured humans being moved between containment areas. No sign of Sari since I spotted her 6 hours ago. My stomach growls, reminding me I haven't eaten since breakfast. There's a vending machine in the break room, but I already cleaned it out. 6 protein bars, a bag of synthetic cheese puffs, and 2 bottles of electrolyte water. Hardly a long-term survival stockpile. I unfold my tablet and pull up the station schematics I downloaded before the aliens, the Scintari, I heard one captive guard call them, cut most network access. Between my delivery routes and these diagrams, I know the station better than almost anyone, maybe even better than these invaders. Have to use that, I mutter to myself. It's the only advantage you've got, Alex. Christ, now I'm referring to myself in the third person. 7 hours as the last free human, and I'm already losing my mind. I mark the areas where I've spotted Scintari patrols on the schematic. They seem to concentrate around the central hub and key infrastructure points. They're systematic, moving in patterns. 3 soldier units, regular intervals, military precision. My finger traces a path through maintenance tunnels leading to the cafeteria in residential section C. It's the closest food source that might not be under direct alien control. If I'm going to survive long enough to help Sari, I need supplies. I gather what might be useful: my scanner, box cutter, delivery badge with override capabilities, portable light, and a length of utility cord I found in a supply drawer. I stuff everything into my satchel, then pause, looking at the pile of packages never delivered. On impulse, I grab a small padded envelope labeled medical supplies and add it to my bag. No idea what's inside, but medical sounds useful right about now. Taking a deep breath, I approach the ventilation grate in the office ceiling. It's just wide enough for a person, meant for repair drone access, but human traversable in emergencies. Like when your space station is invaded by aliens. You can do this, I mutter. Just a tunnel. Just a fucking tunnel. I drag a chair over, stand on it, and push the grate open. Darkness yawns above me, and my chest immediately tightens. Ever since getting trapped in that collapsed storm drain as a kid, small spaces and I haven't gotten along. But it's either the vent or the corridors, and the corridors mean capture or death. I hoist myself up, my knees screaming in protest. The shaft is tight, maybe 3 feet square, and smells of recycled air and machine oil. I pull the grate closed behind me and begin to crawl, using my portable light to illuminate the way. The ventilation system connects to a broader maintenance tunnel after 50 meters of increasingly uncomfortable crawling. I drop down gratefully into the larger space, about 5 feet high, forcing me to hunch, but at least allowing me to move more quickly. My knee throbs with every step. I check my watch. 0130 station time. The invasion began 10 hours ago. I've been moving through these maintenance areas for 3 of those hours, watching, mapping, learning the patterns. The tunnel branches ahead. According to my mental map, left leads toward the cafeteria, right toward the central hub. I need food, but intelligence might be more valuable. After a moment's hesitation, I turn right. The maintenance tunnel narrows as it approaches the central hub, the walls pressing in around me. My breathing quickens, sweat beading on my forehead despite the cool air. I focus on moving forward, one hand occasionally steadying myself against the wall. Just a tunnel, I whisper. Just a fucking tunnel. I reach a junction where a ventilation grate overlooks one of the central hub's main chambers. Carefully, I position myself to peer through without being seen. What I see stops my breath. Dozens of humans kneel in rows, hands bound behind them with those glowing restraints. Scintari patrol the perimeter, those strange organic-looking weapons held ready. But it's the center of the room that draws my eye. Several Scintari are assembling something, a crystalline structure housed in a metallic framework, about the size of a small car. It pulses with pale blue energy. Something about it feels wrong, fundamentally unnatural. The scarred commander I saw earlier supervises the work, occasionally consulting a device similar to our tablets. It points to sections of the device, and the worker Scintari adjusts components with precise movements. "What the hell are you building?" I breathe, fogging the grate slightly. A human technician in station maintenance coveralls is brought forward, his restraints temporarily removed. The commander gestures at the device, then at the human, who nods nervously and begins to examine a connection point. The human's hands shake visibly, but he works, attaching station power systems to the alien device. They're not just invading, they're installing something that requires our station's infrastructure. That can't be good. I shift position to get a better view, and my knee sends a sharp stab of pain up my leg. I bite back a cry, but the sudden movement causes my satchel to bump against the metal grate with a soft clang. One of the Scintari guards looks up, tilting its elongated head. I freeze, not daring to breathe. After a long, heart-stopping moment, the guard returns its attention to the prisoners. I exhale slowly, then back away from the grate. I've seen enough. Time to get those supplies and return to my safe haven. Moving through the tunnels becomes increasingly difficult. My initial adrenaline is wearing off, replaced by bone-deep exhaustion and growing hunger. The knee pain has spread, a constant throbbing ache that makes each step a fresh challenge. Left at the junction, then straight for 50 meters, I mutter to myself, then right at the main conduit. My voice echoes softly in the tunnel, a reminder that I'm completely alone. The thought sends a chill through me, alone against an alien invasion. It would be laughable if it weren't so terrifying. "You've got one job, Alex." I continue my one-sided conversation. "Stay alive. Find Sari. That's it." The tunnel widens as I approach the access point near the cafeteria. I check my tablet. This exit should put me in a storage room adjacent to the kitchen. I listen at the access panel for several minutes, hearing nothing but the hum of idle refrigeration units. I use my override dongle to unlock the panel and slide it open, wincing at the soft scrape of metal on metal. The storage room beyond is dark, illuminated only by the emergency strips along the baseboard. I climb out, biting back a groan as my knee takes my weight again. The storage room is filled with supplies, dried goods, preserved foods, bulk ingredients. More than I could possibly carry. I need to be selective. I limp to the door and press my ear against it, listening for movement in the cafeteria beyond. Hearing nothing, I crack the door open and peer through. The cafeteria is abandoned, tables overturned, trays and food scattered across the floor. Evidence of panic when the invasion began. The main lights are off, but emergency lighting casts long shadows across the room. No sign of Scintari. I slip through the door and move quickly to the kitchen area, satchel ready. The auto chef units are inactive, power conservation protocols during emergencies, but the cold storage is still running. I fill my bag with high-energy ration bars, sealed water packs, and a few luxury items that might boost morale later. Real chocolate, genuine coffee packs. As I'm reaching for a packet of dried fruit, I hear it. The distinctive click-whistle language of the Scintari coming from the cafeteria entrance. Shit! I duck behind the serving counter, heart pounding. Through the small pass-through window, I can see two Scintari entering the cafeteria, weapons at ready position. They're sweeping the room methodically, checking under tables and in corners, standard search pattern. They'll reach the kitchen in less than a minute. I look around desperately for an escape route. The storage room is too far. They'd see me moving. The ventilation access is in there anyway. My eyes fall on my delivery scanner, and a desperate idea forms. I pull it from my satchel along with the box cutter. Working quickly, I pry open the scanner's casing and disconnect the power regulator. A simple modification I've seen the maintenance techs do when replacing parts. Without the regulator, the scanner's power cell will overload when activated. Not exactly a bomb, but it might create enough smoke and noise for a distraction. I set the scanner on the floor by the kitchen entrance, positioned to draw their attention, and hide myself in a large storage cabinet used for tray returns. Through a tiny crack, I can see the Scintari approaching. I activate the scanner remotely using my tablet. For a terrifying moment, nothing happens. Then the scanner begins to emit a high-pitched whine, growing louder as the power cell overheats. Smoke curls from the seams in the casing. The Scintari pause, then approach the smoking device cautiously. One bends down to examine it just as the power cell ruptures with a sharp crack and a shower of sparks. The aliens jump back, raising their weapons. While they're distracted, I slip out of the cabinet and move silently toward the far side of the kitchen, ducking behind equipment. One Scintari remains focused on the smoldering scanner, while the other resumes the search, moving methodically toward my position. I can hear its breathing now, a strange whistling sound through what must be very different lungs. I grip the box cutter in my sweaty palm, its small blade suddenly feeling absurdly inadequate. The Scintari turns, and our eyes meet through the gap between a refrigeration unit and the wall. For one frozen moment, we stare at each other. Its vertical pupils widen. Then it raises its weapon and emits a series of rapid clicks. I lunge before it can fire, driving my shoulder into its midsection with every ounce of force I can muster. The impact sends us both crashing into a prep table, the alien's armor surprisingly less rigid than it looks. Its weapon clatters across the floor. The Scintari recovers quickly, impossibly strong arms grappling with mine. I slash wildly with the box cutter, the blade skittering across the exoskeleton's surface without penetrating. The alien hisses, mandibles spreading to reveal rows of small, sharp teeth. Pure instinct takes over. I drive my knee upward, aiming for what I hope is a vulnerable area. The alien lurches but doesn't release its grip. We crash into shelving, sending cooking implements scattering. The other Scintari is coming. I can hear its rapid approach. Desperate, I stab again with the box cutter, this time aiming for the neck junction where the exoskeleton meets the helmet. The blade finds purchase, sinking into something soft. A hot, greenish fluid spurts across my hand. The Scintari makes a terrible whistling scream. Its grip loosens, and I wrench myself free, grabbing the first potential weapon my hand touches, a large metal ladle from the fallen shelving. I swing with all my strength, connecting with the alien's head. The impact jars up my arm, but the Scintari staggers. I swing again and again, animal terror and rage driving each blow. The second Scintari appears in the doorway. I dive for the fallen alien weapon, my fingers closing around its organic-feeling grip. It hums in my hand, somehow activating at my touch. I point it at the oncoming Scintari and squeeze what feels like a trigger. Nothing happens. Time slows as the alien raises its own weapon. I'm going to die here, on a kitchen floor covered in alien blood, killed because I couldn't figure out how to fire their own damn gun. Then I notice a second control surface where my thumb rests. I press it desperately. The weapon discharges, not a beam or bullet, but a pulse of energy that strikes the Scintari square in the chest. The alien flies backward, crashing into tables before lying still. I turn back to the first Scintari, but it's no longer moving. The box cutter still protrudes from its neck, green fluid pooling beneath its head. Holy shit. I just killed 2 aliens. The realization hits me like a physical blow. I stagger backward until I hit the wall, then slide down to sit on the floor, still clutching the alien weapon. My hands are shaking uncontrollably, covered in greenish alien blood, and my own red blood from cuts I don't remember receiving. I've never killed anything bigger than a spider in my entire life. I'm a package delivery guy, for Christ's sake. I fill out forms and scan barcodes. I don't kill people, aliens, whatever they are. But they'd have killed me without hesitation. They've taken my daughter. Get up, I mutter to myself. Get the fuck up, Alex. My knee screams as I force myself to stand. I need to move before more Scintari arrive. I gather my satchel, now filled with supplies, and the alien weapon. After a moment's consideration, I pull the box cutter from the dead Scintari's neck and wipe it clean on a kitchen towel. Crude, but effective. Worth keeping. I return to the storage room and crawl back into the maintenance tunnel, pulling the access panel closed behind me. The tight space immediately sets off my claustrophobia again. But I force myself to keep moving, putting as much distance between myself and the cafeteria as possible. By the time I reach the postal office, I'm limping badly, and my hands still haven't stopped shaking. I secure the entrances, then collapse into the office chair, the events of the past hour crashing over me in waves. I killed 2 beings today, violently, desperately, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat to survive, to find Sari. The thought should disturb me more than it does. I examine the alien weapon in the office's emergency lighting. It's shaped vaguely like a pistol, but with organic curves and no visible barrel. The material feels almost warm, slightly yielding to pressure. There's no ammunition chamber I can identify, no power cell access. Just the strange dual trigger mechanism I discovered by accident. "What the hell are you?" I mutter, turning it over in my hands. A shrill alarm cuts through the station, so loud it penetrates even my barricaded office. The remaining security monitors flash red. "Attention!" comes an announcement in that accented English. "Human resistance identified in residential section C. All units converge, find, and secure." They've found the bodies. I quickly gather my supplies and check the security feeds. Scintari troops are moving with purpose through the corridors, heading toward the cafeteria. They'll sweep outward from there, searching. My temporary haven isn't safe anymore. I need to move deeper into the station's maintenance areas, somewhere they won't think to look immediately. My knee throbs as I stand, a sharp reminder of my limitations. I down 2 pain pills dry, grimacing at the bitter taste. I'm taking too many, but without them, I can barely walk. I'll worry about addiction if I survive this nightmare. I drag myself into the ventilation system again, my claustrophobia battling with survival instinct. This time, I head toward an old storage area near hydroponics, a section rarely used since the station expanded. It'll be dusty, uncomfortable, but hopefully off the Scintari search grid for now. The journey through the maintenance tunnels is grueling. My knee has swollen, and each movement sends fire up my leg. The tunnels seem tighter than before, the walls pressing in. I catch myself holding my breath, forcing myself to exhale slowly. "Just a tunnel," I whisper, my voice echoing. "Just a fucking tunnel." By the time I reach the storage area, I'm soaked with sweat and trembling from exhaustion. The room is exactly as I remembered. Forgotten crates of supplies, old equipment, thick dust. I barricade the entrance as best I can, then sink to the floor, back against a crate. I check my watch. 4:15. Nearly 18 hours since the invasion began. I've been moving through these tunnels, hiding, mapping, fighting for survival. And now, I've killed. Everything has changed in less than a day. The storage room feels suddenly, achingly empty. The silence presses in, broken only by my ragged breathing and the distant hum of station systems. "What the hell am I supposed to do now?" I ask the darkness. "I'm just the package guy." No answer comes, of course, just the weight of responsibility settling over me like a shroud. Find Sari. Somehow. I close my eyes, just for a moment, and exhaustion claims me. I wake to the insistent buzzing of my comm device, jerking upright in confusion. For a disorienting moment, I think I'm in my apartment, that the invasion was just a nightmare. The pain in my knee and the alien weapon beside me quickly dispel that fantasy. The comm continues to buzz. I fumble for it, wondering who could possibly be contacting me. Station communications are down, and everyone else is captured. I stare at the screen, not comprehending at first. A text message from Sari's personal device. "Dad, are you there? Please answer if you can." My hands shake so badly I can barely type. "Sari, is this real? Are you okay?" The response comes seconds later. "OMG, Dad, you're alive! I thought I was the only one they missed." Tears blur my vision unexpectedly. I wipe them away with a dusty sleeve. "Where are you? Are you safe?" "Central Hub. They're keeping us in groups. I managed to hide my comm. They took everyone's devices, but didn't search the kids very well." Smart girl. Always smarter than her old man. "Are you hurt?" I type. "Number." "They're not hurting anyone. Just sorting us, taking samples, blood and tissue. It's creepy but not violent." I think of the 2 Scintari I killed, the green blood still crusted under my fingernails. "Do you know what they want?" There's a longer pause before her reply comes. "They're building something. The other prisoners say it's a weapon, something to do with radiation that only affects organic neural tissue." My blood runs cold. The device I saw them assembling in the central hub. "How many guards?" "Any way out?" I type. "Too many. At least 20 in this section alone. I've seen maybe 100 total. They have the scarred one in charge. I heard the others call him Nal Vosh." So the commander has a name. Nal Vosh. I file it away. "Dad, what are you going to do?" Sari's next message comes through. "They control everything." What am I going to do? I'm a middle-aged package delivery guy with a bad knee and no combat training. I've killed 2 aliens through sheer desperation and luck. Against an organized invasion force? but I'm also all Sari has right now. I'm going to find you, I type back. I don't know how yet, but I will. Be careful, she responds. Their armor has weak points at the neck and joints, and they have some kind of scanning technology that detects movement. That's how they found almost everyone. Even captured, she's gathering intelligence. That's my girl. I need to shut this down now, she continues. They do random checks. I'll try to contact again when I can. Sorry, I begin typing, then pause. What do you say to your daughter in this situation? What wisdom can a father possibly offer? I settle for the truth. I'm coming for you, I promise. I know, she responds simply. Then, Dad? I'm scared. My throat tightens. Me too, I admit, but we'll get through this. Somehow. The calm goes silent, but something else has awakened in my chest. Something I haven't felt in a long, long time. Hope. I'm not alone anymore, and now I have a purpose beyond simple survival. My daughter is alive, counting on me. I don't know how one broken-down package guy is going to take on an alien invasion force, but I'm damn well gonna try. I check the alien weapon, test its weight in my hand. Then I unfold my tablet and pull up the station schematics, beginning to plan my next move. They want to build a weapon? Fine. I'll give them something else to worry about first. The package guy is about to make a special delivery. Chapter 3. Priority Mail. Hour 36 of the invasion, and my body feels like it's been through a trash compactor. My comm device buzzes again, and I smile despite the pain in my knee, despite the sweat-soaked clothes sticking to my skin, despite the dried alien blood under my fingernails. Sari's messages have become my heartbeat in this metal tomb. Guards changing now. 3 units moving from Central Hub to Residential B. Path to Commissary clear for next 20 minutes. I type back quickly. Got it. Food situation, critical. We'll use window. We've developed our own shorthand over the past day and a half. No names, no specifics about my location. Nothing they could use if they intercepted her device. The Scintari might be technologically advanced, but from what Sari's told me, they're still working on cracking human encryption protocols. Small mercies. Her next message comes through. Doctor. P says your friend needs treatment. Visible limp reported by observers. I grimace. My friend is me, obviously. And the limp, well, it's getting worse. The knee has swollen to twice its normal size, an angry red balloon where a joint used to be. I'm downing pain meds like candy, which dulls it from excruciating to merely agonizing. Friend is managing, I type back. Priority is intel. 3 dots appear as Sari types, then device assembly accelerating. Z says components suggest radiation emission, non-standard. That would be Zhen Liu, the junior engineer Sari's befriended among the captives. From what she's told me, he's been observing the alien technology with a technician's eye, piecing together its purpose bit by bit. Whatever the Scintari are building, it can't be good, especially if they needed to take over an entire space station to do it. Details when possible, I reply. Window closing, contact later. Careful, Sari sends. One word that means everything. I tuck the comm device into my inside pocket and check my improvised weapon. The box cutter now has a better handle fashioned from tape and plastic, and I've added a crude knuckle guard. It's pathetic compared to the Scintari weapons, but it's quiet, and quiet keeps me alive. The alien weapon I took is strapped to my leg, accessible but hidden. I've learned it has 3 settings by experiment, though I'm not entirely sure what 2 of them do. The lowest setting definitely kills, though. I've confirmed that twice more since the cafeteria. I never thought I'd be casually counting kills like tracking packages delivered, but here we are. My new hiding place is an abandoned maintenance office near hydroponics, chosen for its proximity to water pipes I can tap and its multiple escape routes. It's cramped, dusty, and smells vaguely of mold, but it's home for now. I check the small security monitor I've rigged up, a portable display linked to what remains of the station's camera network. Most feeds are disabled or under Scintari control, but a few service cameras still cycle through, giving me glimpses of station activity. Just as Sari reported, the corridor outside Commissary 2 is clear. Time to move. I haul myself up, swallowing a groan as my knee protests. The maintenance tunnels feel tighter every time I enter them, my mild claustrophobia intensifying with each crawl. But They're still safer than the main corridors. Just a tunnel, I mutter, my now familiar mantra. Just a fucking tunnel. I drag myself through the narrow passage, using my arms more than my legs where possible. 20 minutes to reach the commissary, grab supplies, and get back to safety. I've timed the route twice, 15 minutes each way if I push it, which means I'm already screwed, mathematically speaking. Story of my life. The station-wide announcement system crackles to life as I'm halfway to my destination, the sound penetrating even the maintenance tunnel walls. Attention humans of Nexus Prime. The voice is Commander Nal Vosh, his accented English now familiar. We know one of your kind remains free. This disrupts processing efficiency. I pause, listening intently. To free human, surrender immediately. You will not be harmed, resistance pointless, station sealed, no escape possible. There's a pause, then his tone shifts slightly. To all captive humans, information leading to free humans' capture will be rewarded. Cooperating humans receive priority classification, better conditions, more provisions. My blood runs cold. They're trying to turn the captives against me, against each other. Remember, Scintari observe efficiency, cooperation logical, resistance brings pain only. The announcement repeats once, then fades to silence. Great. Now I'm not just fighting aliens, I'm fighting potential human collaborators too. Because that's exactly what I needed to make this situation more fun. I continue moving, my pace hampered by both physical pain and new wariness. The commissary is just ahead, accessible through a maintenance panel hidden behind storage units. I listen carefully at the panel, hearing nothing beyond. Slowly I ease it open and peer into the storage area. Empty. I slip through, replacing the panel behind me. The commissary is eerily silent, emergency lighting casting everything in dim blue. Unlike the cafeteria, this area seems untouched by the initial panic. Everything neatly organized, fully stocked. It's a smaller facility meant for residential staff, not the main dining area where I had my encounter with the Scintari. I move quickly to the supply cabinets, filling my satchel with ration packs, water tablets, and medical supplies. I grab pain medication without even pretending it's not my first priority. Then protein bars, emergency blankets, anything small and useful. As I'm reaching for a portable power cell, I hear voices in the corridor outside. Human voices. I freeze, then duck behind a service counter, peering cautiously over the top. The commissary door slides open, and 2 station personnel enter. A maintenance technician I vaguely recognize, and a woman in administrative uniform. They're unrestrained, moving freely. Can't be expected to search these residential sections without proper equipment, the woman is saying. The Scintari scanners are calibrated for their physiology, not ours. Commander Nal Vosh said we'd be given better tools once we prove our usefulness, the technician replies. Finding the free human would definitely qualify. I feel sick. Collaborators, actually helping the aliens hunt me down. The sooner we find him, the sooner things can normalize, the woman continues. The Scintari have been clear. They just want to complete their scientific survey and leave. The technician nods. They're not monsters. They're treating the cooperative prisoners well. It's just the resistors causing problems for everyone. I bite my lip until I taste blood. Scientific survey, my ass. Whatever they're building in the central hub, it's no science project. The collaborators move deeper into the commissary, checking storage areas. They're being thorough, moving toward my position. There's no way to reach the maintenance access without being seen. I grip the alien weapon, considering my options. I could stun them, maybe. I'm pretty sure the lowest setting wouldn't kill a human. Probably, but they're not armed. They're not Scintari. They're just scared people making a terrible choice. Davis said he saw movement in Residential C yesterday, the woman says. Thought it might be our runner. Probably just environmental systems cycling, the technician replies. But worth checking. I'll take a scanner there after we finish here. They're getting closer. Decision time. I shift position, preparing to move, when my knee sends a jolt of pain so intense I can't suppress a sharp intake of breath. The technician stops. Did you hear that? Shit. In one fluid motion, fluid for a guy with a knee the size of a grapefruit, I rise from behind the counter, alien weapon leveled at them. Don't move, I order, my voice hoarse from disuse. Hands where I can see them. They freeze, eyes widening in shock. You're the one they're looking for, the woman stammers. And you're the ones helping them, I reply coldly. Selling out your own species. How's that working out for you? The technician raises his hands slowly. Look, we're just trying to survive. The Scintari aren't hostile if you cooperate. They've been clear about that. I laugh, a hollow sound. And you believe them? While they build some kind of weapon in the central hub? The woman frowns. Weapon? No, they're conducting atmospheric research, something about Earth's biosphere. Is that what they told you? I ask. And you bought it? While they're attaching a crystal resonator to our power systems? Uncertainty flickers across their faces. Good. They don't know everything. Here's what's going to happen, I continue, trying to sound more confident than I feel. You're going to turn around, walk out of here, and forget you saw me. In return, I don't stun you and leave you locked in a storage closet for the next week. They'll know we've seen you, the technician says. They monitor us. Not in here, they don't, I reply. Commissary 2 cameras have been offline since the invasion. Check for yourself. The woman glances up at the camera in the corner, its indicator light dark. Why should we help you? She asks. The Scintari are offering protection, resources. Because I'm trying to save everyone on this station, I cut in, including you 2 idiots, and because I'm the only one who seems to remember we're human. The technician's expression hardens. You're just making things worse. The resistance is prolonging our captivity. My finger tightens on the trigger. It would be so easy. Just a quick pulse, and these collaborators wouldn't be a problem anymore. But that's not who I am. Or at least, it's not who I was before all this started. Last chance, I say. Walk away now, or find out what this weapon does on its lowest setting. They exchange glances, tension crackling between us. Then the woman nods slightly. We're leaving, she says, but you're making a mistake. The Scintari aren't what you think. Neither am I reply. Now go. They back away slowly, then turn and hurry out of the commissary. As soon as they're gone, I grab my satchel and limp rapidly to the maintenance access, slipping through just as I hear voices returning, more than 2 this time. I secure the panel behind me and crawl faster than my knee wants to allow, putting distance between myself and the commissary. Pain shoots up my leg with every movement, but adrenaline keeps me going. Once I'm several junctions away, I stop to catch my breath, pressing my forehead against the cool metal wall. They'll report me now, collaborators or not. They'll have to. Which means this entire section will be swarming with Scintari soon. Time to change safe houses again. My comm buzzes unexpectedly. Sari isn't due to contact me for hours. Urgent, the message reads. Dr. P examining device components. Z says neutron emission pattern specifically targets organic neural tissue. Earth is target. I stare at the words, trying to process their meaning. A weapon that targets neural tissue? That would mean... Oh God, they're not here to conquer the station. They're using it as a platform to deploy a weapon against Earth. A weapon that would kill every human, animal, anything with a nervous system, while leaving infrastructure intact. My hands shake as I type back. Sure about this? Z Stow % certain. Device name, neutron phase resonator. Dr. P confirming independently. Ice forms in my veins. This isn't an invasion, it's an extermination. How long? I type. Unknown, assembly 60% complete, testing phase next. I need to destroy that device, somehow. Need station layout near device, I reply. Guard patterns, access points. Working on it, Sari responds. Be careful. S1 increased after commissary report. S1, Scintari presence. So, the collaborators reported me after all. No surprise there. Relocating, I type. Contact window in 6 hours. K, stay alive, Dad. 3 simple words that hit harder than any Scintari weapon could. Stay alive, Dad. Like I'm someone worth keeping alive. Someone who matters. I tuck the comm away and force myself to keep moving, despite my body's increasing protests. I need a new hiding place, somewhere they haven't searched yet. And I need to start planning how to take out that resonator. The maintenance tunnels grow narrower as I move into the industrial section of the station, the walls pressing in. My breathing quickens, sweat beading on my forehead despite the cool air. I fight down the panic, focusing on putting one hand in front of the other. Just a tunnel, I wheeze. Just a fucking tunnel. After what feels like hours but is probably only 40 minutes, I reach an access point near environmental control, a critical system that must be maintained even during emergencies. The small maintenance room beyond the panel is cramped but serviceable, with a workbench and storage cabinets. I drag myself through the opening, nearly crying with relief to be out of the confined space. My knee has gone from painful to almost numb, which I know from experience is not a good sign. I arrange my supplies on the workbench, taking inventory. Food for another 3 days if I'm careful. Water for 4. Pain meds for 2 at my current rate of consumption. The alien weapon with whatever charge it came with. No way to know how much that is. And one extremely pissed off package delivery guy with a ruined knee. Not exactly a military strike force. I check the time, 6 hours until my next contact window with Sari. I should rest while I can, but first, I need to make myself something more effective than a modified box cutter. I search the maintenance room, finding tools and spare parts for the environmental systems. A pipe wrench catches my eye, heavy solid metal with a comfortable grip. That could definitely crack an exoskeleton. I set it aside. In a cabinet, I discover an emergency repair kit containing industrial adhesive, wire, and composite patches for hull breaches. The adhesive is powerful enough to bond metal to metal in vacuum conditions. I think of the Scintari patrol pattern Sari has described, the predictable routes they follow. Maybe I don't need to fight them directly. Maybe I just need to slow them down. Create a diversion. I spend the next hour fashioning crude traps, adhesive strips stretched across corridors at ankle height, tripwires connected to stacked equipment that will crash down when disturbed. Nothing lethal, but enough to create confusion, to make them cautious. It's while I'm testing the trigger mechanism for one of these traps that my comm device shows an incoming video feed. I access it cautiously, wary of Scintari tracking. It's a security feed showing a section of the central hub. As I watch, one of my adhesive traps catches a Scintari patrol, the lead soldier stumbling forward as his foot sticks to the floor. The second soldier trips over the first, their weapons clattering across the deck. The third manages to stop in time, chittering what I assume are alien expletives. I grin, a savage pleasure washing through me. Not so superior now, are you assholes? The feed shifts to another corridor, where a pile of storage containers has collapsed onto a Scintari patrol, temporarily disabling their communication gear. More confusion, more delay. My little tricks won't stop them, but they'll make them cautious, slow their systematic search. And right now, time is the most valuable resource I have. With renewed energy, I check the security feeds I've been able to access. One shows the prisoner processing area, where humans are being cataloged and assigned to various sections. I scan the faces desperately, looking for Sari. There she is, her blue hair unmistakable even on the grainy feed. She stands with a group of teenagers, talking to a woman I recognize as Dr. Park. They appear unharmed, though obviously captive. As I watch, Sari glances directly at the camera. She doesn't wave or make any obvious gesture, but I'd swear she knows I'm watching. Her chin lifts slightly, a hint of defiance. Then she turns back to Dr. Park, continuing their conversation. The small glimpse of my daughter, alive and unbroken, gives me a surge of strength. I've been fighting to survive, but now I have something more, a purpose beyond mere existence. I pull up the station schematics on my tablet, studying possible routes to the central hub, where the resonator is being assembled. According to Sari's intel, it's heavily guarded, with multiple Scintari patrols and collaborator technicians working around the clock. A frontal assault is suicide. But maybe I don't need to get to the resonator directly. Maybe I can target its support systems. I trace the power conduits on the schematic, following them to junction boxes that feed the central hub. If I could disrupt those, perhaps cause a power surge. The plan forms quickly. I'll set more traps to divert Scintari attention, then target one of the main power junctions. Not enough to damage life support, I'm not trying to kill everyone on the station, but enough to temporarily disable the resonator and slow their progress. I gather my supplies, securing the pipe wrench to my belt alongside the alien weapon. The box cutter goes into an easily accessible pocket. Pain pills get distributed among several pockets. Can't risk losing all of them if I have to ditch my satchel. With everything prepared, I finally allow myself to rest. My knee is throbbing dully, the pain meds barely taking the edge off now. I elevated on a stack of maintenance manuals, noting the purple-red swelling with detached interest. The rational part of my brain knows this is bad, possibly permanent damage territory. But I don't have the luxury of proper medical care right now. I set an alarm for 5 hours, enough rest to function, not enough to miss my contact window with Sari. As I drift into an uneasy sleep, I see her face on the security feed, that slight lift of her chin. My daughter, the future I'm fighting for. I wake to searing pain and the muffled sound of my alarm. For a disorienting moment, I don't remember where I am or why everything hurts. Then reality crashes back. Alien invasion, hiding in maintenance areas. My daughter, captive. A weapon that could exterminate humanity. Just another Tuesday on Nexus Prime. I swallow 2 pain pills dry, grimacing at the bitter taste. The meds take the edge off, allowing me to move without screaming. Small victories. I check my comm device. No messages from Sari yet, but it's almost time for our scheduled contact window. I send a brief text, our agreed-upon opening signal. Package status? Nothing comes back. I wait 5 minutes, which feels like 5 hours, then try again. Delivery confirmation needed. Still nothing. A cold knot forms in my stomach. Sari always responds promptly during our scheduled windows. Always. I try a 3rd time. Urgent, receipt acknowledgement required. The silence stretches, each passing minute feeding my growing dread. Something's wrong, very wrong. I check the security feeds frantically, cycling through the available cameras, looking for any sign of increased activity in the prisoner sections. Nothing obvious, but I can only access a fraction of the station's surveillance system now. What if they found Sari's comm device? What if they know she's been helping me? The Scintari wouldn't hesitate to make an example of her. I try once more. Are you there? Please respond. The silence feels like a physical weight pressing down on me, making it hard to breathe. My hands shake as I tuck the comm away. I need to move, to do something, anything. But where? I don't know where Sari is being held now. I don't know what's happened. Charging blindly into Scintari-controlled areas is suicide. I stare at the maintenance room walls, the cramped space suddenly feeling even smaller. The ceiling seems to lower, the walls pressing in. My claustrophobia, barely controlled before, surges full force. Just a tunnel, I whisper, but the words bring no comfort. Just a fucking tunnel. My breathing comes in short, sharp gasps. The room spins. I fumble for the wall, steadying myself, but the panic has me in its grip now. I sink to the floor, back against the wall, trying to force air into lungs that refuse to expand fully. Is this how it ends? Not killed by aliens, but by my own mind betraying me? Sorry, I gasp to the empty room. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The apology is for everything, for being a shitty father after the divorce, for moving to this station instead of staying on Earth where I could see her regularly, for not being there when the invasion happened, for failing to protect her now. I curl into myself, the physical pain in my knee, nothing compared to the crushing weight of failure. I'm not a hero. I'm not a soldier. I'm just a broken-down package guy who thought he could make a difference. The comm stays silent. The walls press closer. The panic and despair twine together, pushing me further into darkness. I don't know how long I stay like that. Minutes or hours, time has lost all meaning. Eventually, the panic attack subsides enough that I can breathe again, though the despair remains, a hollow ache in my chest. I force myself to move, to check my supplies, to do something other than wallow in helplessness. If Sari is in trouble, falling apart won't help her. I've just finished rechecking the alien weapon when my comm finally buzzes. I grab it so quickly I nearly drop it, fingers trembling as I read the message. Security sweep. Had to ditch comm. Found backup. I'm okay. Relief hits me like a physical blow, so intense I nearly pass out. Sari is alive. She's still free to communicate. Thank God, I type back. Thought they found you. Close call. Z creating interference to mask comms. Can't talk long. My heart is still pounding, but the crushing despair recedes. What happened? Scintari scanning for electronic signatures. Found some devices, but not mine. Increased security after your traps. They're pissed. I smile grimly. Good. Let them be pissed. Also, Sari continues, they're accelerating resonator timeline. Z says final calibration within 36 hours. Then, deployment. 36 hours. That's all the time Earth has left if I don't stop them. Need to disrupt power to central hub, I type. Delay them. Risky. Security tripled. But Z says power junction in section F7 is vulnerable point. Disrupt that, might set them back days. I pull up the station schematic. Section F7 houses a major power distribution node, and it's not far from my current position. I can reach it, I reply. What about you? Still safe? There's a longer pause before her next message. For now, they're separating youngsters from adults. Don't know why? That can't be good. Nothing the Scintari do is for human benefit. Be careful, I type, the words feeling woefully inadequate. You too. Interference window closing. We'll try again after your operation. Good luck. The comm goes silent again, but this time it doesn't trigger panic. Sari is alive. She's still fighting. And now I have a target. I gather my gear, steeling myself for the journey through more maintenance tunnels. The claustrophobia lingers at the edges of my consciousness, but I push it down. I can have another breakdown after I've disrupted the power junction. As I prepare to enter the tunnel, a station-wide announcement begins. Nalvash's voice fills my small sanctuary. Attention, humans of Nexus Prime. Free human continues resistance despite warning. Defiant acts recorded in multiple sections. Unacceptable. His tone hardens. Consequence now implemented. 10 human captives selected, for example. Pain stimulators activated until free human surrenders. My blood runs cold. They're torturing people because of me. Because I'm fighting back. Additionally, younger humans now separated as contingency. Their treatment depends on compliance of adult population and surrender of free human. They're threatening the children, using them as leverage. Final opportunity. Surrender within 12 hours, or examples become permanent. Younger humans relocated to isolation. The announcement ends, leaving a ringing silence in its wake. They're hurting people. They might hurt Sari. Because of me. Part of me wants to surrender immediately, to stop the suffering, to protect my daughter. But another part, the part that's seen what they're building, that knows what they plan for Earth, refuses to give in. If I surrender, they'll complete the resonator. They'll kill everyone on Earth, billions of people, including Sari's mother, her friends, everyone she's ever known. Number, I can't surrender, but I can't let them hurt her either. I need to move now, disrupt the power, buy some time, then figure out how to get to Sari and the other prisoners before the Scintari make good on their threats. The maintenance tunnel seems a little less confining this time, urgency overriding fear. I move as quickly as my damaged knee allows, following the most direct route to section F7. The pain is constant now, a white-hot companion that's become almost familiar. I reach the junction between maintenance sectors, pausing to check my tablet schematic. Just 2 more turns, then a vertical climb to reach the power distribution node. I take a deep breath, then continue forward. The sound of voices ahead stops me cold. Not the alien click-whistle speech of the Scintari, but human voices, low, urgent, coming from just around the bend in the tunnel. I draw the alien weapon, creeping forward silently. The voices grow clearer. Said the access panel should be right here. A male voice, unfamiliar. Are you sure this is the right junction? All these tunnels look the same. Female, equally unknown. I'm following his directions exactly. Section F7, third junction, maintenance access Charlie. They're looking for the same power node I am, but who are they? More collaborators? A Scintari trap? I peer cautiously around the bend. 2 figures crouch near a junction box, illuminated by a small portable light. A man and woman in station maintenance uniforms, both looking disheveled and tense. No visible weapons, but caution seems wise. I step into view, weapon raised. Don't move. They freeze, slowly raising their hands. The woman's eyes widen. Holy shit, she whispers. It's you, the Postman. I blink, confused. The what? That's what they're calling you, the man explains, voice low and urgent. The only free human, the one fighting back. I keep the weapon trained on them, suspicious. Who sent you here? They exchange glances. The woman speaks first. We're with Z, part of the resistance. Zhenliu, Sari's engineer friend. I lower the weapon slightly. Prove it. Z says to tell you neutron phase resonator, the man replies, and that your friend with the blue hair is safe for now, but they're moving her group in 6 hours. My grip tightens on the weapon, but I lower it completely. What are you doing here? Same as you, probably, the woman says, trying to disrupt the power to delay the resonator calibration. Z said this junction was vulnerable. There's a resistance? I ask, still struggling to process this development. The man nods. Small, growing, mostly station engineers, maintenance staff, people who know the systems, who can work behind the scenes without being noticed. We all heard what they're really building, the woman adds. The resonator. What it'll do to Earth. I study them carefully, looking for any sign of deception. Finding none, I holster the weapon. I'm Alex Decker. Miyuki, the woman offers. Miyuki Chen, Environmental Systems. Raj Patel, the man says. Structural Maintenance. I gesture toward the junction box. So, what's the plan? Miyuki's expression turns grim. Z said a specific power surge pattern would disrupt the resonator's calibration sequence without compromising life support. We have the technical expertise, but you need someone who can navigate the maintenance areas undetected, I finish, understanding dawning. Raj nods. That's where you come in, the postman, the one who knows these tunnels better than anyone. I'm just the package guy, I say automatically. Miyuki smiles, a quick flash of teeth in the dim light. Not anymore. Now you're something else entirely. The realization hits me suddenly. I'm not alone. There are others fighting back. Organized, planning, coordinated through Zhenliu, and presumably Sari. Okay, I say, newfound determination flooding through me. Let's hit them where it hurts. For the next 30 minutes, I watch as Miyuki and Raj work on the junction box. Their fingers move with the practiced efficiency of people who know exactly what they're doing. They explain the process as they work, how they're setting up a cascading power surge that will feed back into the resonator's calibration systems, forcing the Scintari to restart the process from scratch. This won't destroy it, Raj warns, but it'll set them back at least 48 hours. And buy time for what? I ask. Miyuki exchanges a glance with Raj before answering. Z has a plan, something bigger than just delaying them, but it needs time to set up. What kind of plan? We don't know the details, Raj admits. Compartmentalized information, safer that way if any of us are caught. Smart, frustrating, but smart. Almost done, Miyuki murmurs, connecting 2 final wires. This trigger device will allow us to activate the surge remotely, once we're safely away from the junction. She holds up a small, crude-looking device cobbled together from station components. Signal range is limited, maybe 50 meters. Someone will need to get close enough to activate it without being detected. Both of them look at me expectantly. Right, I sigh. The postman delivers again. You know the tunnels, Raj says. You've been avoiding capture for almost 2 days. You're our best chance. He's right, of course. I take the trigger device, studying it briefly before tucking it into my pocket. How will I know when to activate it? I ask. We'll create a diversion in Residential Section B, Miyuki explains. Draw Scintari forces away from the central hub. When you hear the alarm, wait 5 minutes, then trigger the surge. What kind of diversion? Her expression turns grim. Nothing that will hurt anyone, but it'll be noisy. I nod, not pressing for details. And after the surge? Get to Maintenance Junction T12, Raj says. We'll have someone waiting with new instructions. The resistance is growing, Alex. People are starting to fight back. The thought is both encouraging and terrifying. More people fighting means more chances to succeed, but also more risks, more potential losses. Be careful, I tell them. These aliens don't mess around. Neither do we, Miyuki replies, a hard edge to her voice. Not anymore. With the junction modifications complete, we prepare to separate. Raj hands me a small communicator, different from my standard comm device. Short range, encrypted, he explains. Only works with similar units. Scintari can't intercept or track it. I tuck it away carefully. What about Sari? My daughter? Z says they're moving her group to a new containment area near the resonator, Miyuki says. Apparently, the commander thinks young humans make good leverage. My jaw tightens. Can the resistance get to them? We're working on it, Raj assures me. That's part of the bigger plan. But first, we need to buy time with this power surge. I nod, accepting the priority. Save Earth first, then save Sari. It's what she would want. We part ways at the junction, Miyuki and Raj heading back toward residential sections, while I move toward a position near the central hub, where I can trigger the surge. We agree on a time frame, 1 hour for them to get in position and set up their diversion. As I navigate the maintenance tunnels alone once more, I find my thoughts spinning. The Postman. They've given me a name, an identity beyond package guy. A symbol, perhaps, for the resistance forming in the shadows of the Scintari occupation. It feels like too much responsibility for one broken-down delivery worker with a bad knee. But maybe that's the point. Maybe ordinary people are exactly who should be fighting back. I reach my designated position, a maintenance alcove with a view of the central hub through a small ventilation grate. From here, I can see part of the resonator assembly area, where Scintari technicians continue their work on the crystal device. The ugly thing pulses with unnatural energy, growing stronger by the hour. Sari is down there somewhere, along with the other young prisoners, being used as shields, as leverage. The thought makes my blood boil. I check my watch. 47 minutes until the scheduled diversion. I settle in to wait, the trigger device clutched in my sweaty palm. Just as I'm about to check my watch for the 10th time, the station's alert system activates. Sirens wail in the distance, followed by the automated announcement, "Security breach in residential section B. All available units respond." The diversion has begun. Through the ventilation grate, I watch as several Scintari guards hurry away from the resonator, responding to the alarm. Their numbers thin, though a core security team remains near the device. I count at least 6 guards, plus technicians still working on the calibration. I start the 5-minute countdown, watching as more Scintari forces mobilize to respond to the distant threat. Whatever Miyuki and Raj did, it's drawing substantial attention. At the 3-minute mark, something unexpected happens. The scarred commander, Nalvosh, enters the resonator chamber, accompanied by a group of humans under guard. My breath catches as I spot a flash of blue hair among them. Sari. They've brought her here, along with about a dozen other young prisoners. Nalvosh gestures sharply, and the guards arrange the prisoners in a semicircle around the resonator. Human shields, positioned exactly where the power surge will hit hardest. My thumb hovers over the trigger device's activation button, suddenly uncertain. If I trigger the surge now, with the prisoners so close to the resonator, they could be hurt, killed even. I watch in growing horror as Nalvosh positions Sari directly beside the main control interface, her restraints attached to the console itself. She stands straight-backed, defiant, but I can see fear in her eyes even from this distance. The countdown reaches 0. I should activate the surge now. Every second of delay gives the Scintari more time to complete their weapon. But Sari is right there in the blast zone. I check the emergency communicator Raj gave me, hoping for guidance, but there's no message. They don't know about this development. They expect me to trigger the surge according to plan. Earth or Sari, billions of lives or my daughters. No father should have to make this choice. I stare through the grate, desperately searching for options. The seconds tick by, each one bringing the resonator closer to completion, each one a betrayal of the Resistance's trust. Then I see it. A secondary junction box on the far wall of the chamber, connected to the resonator's power supply, but far enough from the prisoners that a surge might spare them the worst effects. If I could somehow reach that junction instead, but that would mean leaving the maintenance tunnels, exposing myself, taking on 6 Scintari guards plus Nalvosh himself. Suicide by any rational assessment. But when has anything about this situation been rational? I tuck the trigger device away and pull out the alien weapon. No time for fancy planning now, just action and desperate hope. I remove the ventilation grate as quietly as possible, then slide through the opening into a maintenance platform, suspended above the chamber floor. From here, I have a clear view of the entire room, the resonator pulsing with increasing energy, the Scintari technicians working frantically, the prisoners standing in their terrible semicircle, and the secondary junction box mounted on the far wall. If I can create a distraction, draw the guards away from the prisoners, I might reach that junction, Might be able to trigger the surge directly without endangering Sari. Emphasis on might. I take a deep breath, check the alien weapon's charge, and make my decision. The package guy is about to make a very special delivery. I aim at a set of storage containers, far from both the resonator and the prisoners, then fire at maximum setting. The energy pulse strikes with devastating effect, the containers exploding in a shower of debris and flame. Alarms immediately blare throughout the chamber. "Security breach!" a Scintari guard shouts. "Upper level!" Multiple weapons turn toward my position. I don't wait for them to fire, already moving laterally along the maintenance platform, staying low. Energy pulses tear through the space where I was moments before. I fire again, this time at the lighting grid on the opposite side of the chamber. The grid explodes, plunging half the room into darkness. Confusion erupts as Scintari guards try to track my position, while technicians rush to protect the resonator. In the chaos, I spot Sari looking up, searching for the source of the disturbance. Our eyes meet across the chamber. I see recognition, then horror as she realizes what I'm doing. "It's the Postman!" Nalvosh snarls, his alien voice carrying over the alarms. "Secure the resonator! Secure the humans!" I use the moment of confusion to drop from the platform to a lower level, then to the main floor, ducking behind equipment as I make my way toward the secondary junction box. My knee screams with each impact, but adrenaline keeps me moving. A Scintari guard appears suddenly around a console, weapon raised. I fire first, catching him square in the chest. He drops without a sound. "Keep moving." I hear Nalvosh barking orders, pulling guards from the prisoners to search for me. Good, that's exactly what I want. Another guard spots me, firing rapidly. An energy pulse grazes my shoulder, searing through fabric and skin. I bite back a scream, returning fire as I dive behind a workstation. My shot misses, but it forces the guard to take cover. 20 meters to the junction box, 3 guards between me and it, and my wounded shoulder is now pouring blood, the pain shocking even through the adrenaline. "Dad!" Sari's voice cuts through the chaos. "Behind you!" I spin just in time to see a Scintari lunging at me, some kind of blade extended from its armor. I sidestep, but my knee buckles at the worst possible moment. The blade slices across my ribs, a line of fire opening along my side. Pure instinct takes over. I drive the butt of the alien weapon into the Scintari's face with all my strength, feeling something crack beneath the impact. The alien staggers back, and I fire point blank into its chest, another one down. "Get away from the resonator!" I shout to the prisoners. "Move now!" Some of them react, pulling against their restraints. Others stand frozen, too terrified to move. Sari strains against the bonds connecting her to the console, but she's secured too well. 15 meters to the junction box. An energy pulse hits the floor near my feet, spraying superheated metal fragments into my leg. I falter, nearly falling, but force myself to keep moving. Return fire. Another guard down. 10 meters. Nalvosh appears through the smoke and chaos, his tall form unmistakable. He's moving towards Sari, weapon drawn. 5 meters. I reach the junction box, fumbling with the panel, trying to expose the connections inside. My blood-slick fingers slip on the fasteners. "Surrender, Postman," Nalvosh calls, pressing his weapon against Sari's head. "Or the young human dies first." Time stops. Nalvosh stands beside my daughter, the alien weapon pressed to her temple. Sari's eyes meet mine across the chamber, wide with fear, but still defiant. "It's okay, Dad," she calls, voice steady despite everything. "Do it. Do what you came to do." I look down at the junction box, then back at my daughter. At the resonator pulsing with deadly energy that will soon devastate Earth. At the remaining Scintari guards regrouping around their commander. My finger hovers over the trigger device in my pocket. If I activate it now, the power surge will hit the entire system. It might save Earth, but Sari will almost certainly die. "Young human important to you," Nalvosh observes, his alien features unreadable. "Surrender now. No more resistance. No more delays." My mind races, seeking options, finding none. If I surrender, Earth dies. If I trigger the surge, Sari dies. No choice is acceptable. Then I spot it. A small auxiliary input on the resonator itself, designed for emergency power regulation. If I could reach it, maybe I could route the surge directly into the crystal core, bypassing the safety systems that would normally protect it. The resonator would be destroyed completely. And if I'm right about the scientific principles involved, the backblast would be significant. Probably fatal to anyone nearby, including me. But it might spare the prisoners, might spare Sari. Okay, I called to Nalvosh, lowering my weapon. You win. I surrender. Nalvosh's mandibles twitch in what might be satisfaction. Wise choice, human. I step away from the junction box, hands raised, moving slowly toward the center of the room, toward the resonator, toward Sari. Release my daughter, and I'll tell you everything, where the resistance is, their plans, everything. Dad, no! Sari's voice breaks with disbelief. Nalvosh studies me, alien eyes unblinking. Approach slowly. I limp forward, each step agony. My left leg is riddled with metal fragments, my side bleeding freely, my shoulder a mass of seared flesh. But I keep moving, eyes fixed on Nalvosh. 3 meters from the resonator now, close enough to see the intricate crystal structure, the pulsing energy at its core, close enough to notice the power regulation port I spotted earlier. Stop there, Nalvosh orders. I halt, swaying slightly, letting him see my weakened state. Let him think I'm no threat, just a broken human ready to surrender. Lower your weapon to the floor, he continues. Slowly. I bend painfully, placing the alien weapon on the deck. As I straighten, I slip the trigger device from my pocket into my palm, keeping it hidden. Now, release my daughter, I demand. Nalvosh makes a gesture, and a guard steps forward to unlock Sari's restraints from the console. She remains bound, but is no longer tethered to the machine. Move her away from the resonator, I insist. All the prisoners, move them back. You make demands still? Nalvosh's voice carries a dangerous edge. It's my final request before I cooperate, I say, meeting his alien gaze steadily. Move them back, and I'll tell you everything you want to know, about the resistance, about station security, everything. Nalvosh considers for a moment, then nods. Move prisoners to containment perimeter. The guards begin herding the captives toward the chamber's edge, Sari among them. She keeps looking back at me, confusion and betrayal in her eyes. Forgive me, kiddo. As the prisoners reach a safer distance, I take a small step closer to the resonator. That's far enough, human, Nalvosh warns. Just wanted a closer look at your machine, I reply, trying to keep his attention on me and not on my right hand, which now hovers near the power regulation port. Impressive technology. Beyond human understanding, Nalvosh says, with what might be pride. Now, the resistance, their numbers, their locations. I smile, a grim baring of teeth. About that, in one fluid motion that surprises even me, I lunge forward and jam the trigger device directly into the regulation port. My thumb slams down on the activation button. For a heartbeat, nothing happens. Then the trigger device connects with the junction box, Miyuki and Raj modified, sending a massive power surge directly into the resonator's core. The effect is immediate. The crystal structure flares blindingly bright, energy arcing wildly across its surface. Alarm systems scream throughout the chamber as the resonator's containment systems begin to fail. What have you done? Nalvosh roars, lunging for me. I stagger back, away from the increasingly unstable resonator. Special delivery, asshole. The resonator's crystal core is fracturing, energy contained within it now releasing in chaotic bursts. Scintari technicians scramble frantically to stabilize it, but I can see in their movements that it's too late. System overload, one shouts in accented English. Containment failing. Evacuate chamber, Nalvosh orders, moving toward the exit. Secure the humans. Through the chaos, I find Sari's eyes one last time. She stands at the chamber's perimeter, now understood what I've done. She shakes her head desperately, mouthing, "No!" I smile at her, hoping she can see all the things I never said. All the pride, all the love. Then I turn and throw myself toward the resonator as its crystal core begins to shatter completely. The last thing I hear is Sari screaming my name as the world dissolves into blinding light and searing pain. Special delivery complete. Chapter 4. Postage due. Darkness, pain, silence. These are my first sensations as consciousness returns in stuttering fragments. Am I dead? Is this what death feels like? Just endless black and the distant echo of agony? Sound comes next, a high-pitched ringing that gradually resolves into voices, urgent but muffled, as if coming from underwater. Still breathing, get Dr. Park dash. Massive trauma, can't move him yet. Resonator destroyed, they're in full retreat. Dad? Dad, can you hear me? Sari's voice cuts through the fog, anchoring me to reality. I try to respond, but my body refuses to cooperate. I feel hands on me, gentle but insistent, turning me, examining wounds I can't yet feel properly. Alex, it's Ellie Park. Don't try to move. Dr. Park's professional tone barely masks her concern. You've sustained severe injuries. We're stabilizing you for transport. Transport where? I want to ask, but still can't form words. My eyelids feel welded shut, too heavy to lift. The resonator exploded, Sari explains, as if sensing my confusion. You destroyed it completely. The Scintari command ship was damaged by some kind of feedback pulse through their systems. They're retreating, regrouping. Quantum entanglement, another voice adds. Zhen Liu, I assume. The resonator was linked to their ship's systems. When one failed catastrophically, it affected the other. I managed to pry one eye open, vision blurry, but gradually focusing. Sari's face hovers above me, streaked with soot and tears. Beyond her, I glimpse the destroyed chamber. Twisted metal, shattered equipment, emergency lights casting everything in pulsing red. How? I croak, my voice a ragged whisper. How am I alive? The resonator's containment shell directed most of the blast outward, Jen explains, and you were partially shielded by a console that collapsed over you. Still, you took a massive dose of radiation and trauma. It's a miracle you survived at all. Some miracle. Every cell in my body feels like it's on fire. I try to move my legs and feel nothing, not even pain, just absence. Dr. Park notices my attempt. Your spinal cord is damaged, she says quietly. Among other injuries. We've given you something for the pain, but we need to get you to a proper medical facility. The others, I manage. All prisoners freed, Sari says, squeezing my hand. Minimal casualties. The Resistance is coordinating evacuation to the emergency shuttles. The Scintari are too busy with their damaged ship to stop us. You did it, Alex, Dr. Park adds. You saved everyone. Not everyone, I think, finally registering the extent of my injuries. The price for Earth's salvation was steep, but looking at Sari's face, alive, free, determined, I know it was worth it. Station Commander Wells and the other collaborators have been detained, Zhen continues. Some are claiming they were coerced, others that they didn't know the Scintari's true purpose. Sort it out. Later, I whisper, exhaustion pulling at me again. Save your strength, Doctor, Park instructs. Transport team is almost here. Sari leans closer, her blue hair falling forward to frame her face. You stupid, heroic idiot, she whispers fiercely. I thought you were dead. Sorry to disappoint, I manage a weak smile. Stop talking, she orders, wiping away tears. Just focus on staying alive. I didn't come all this way to watch you die. Fair point. I close my eyes again, letting the darkness reclaim me. But it's different now. Not the empty void of near death, but the sheltering darkness of healing sleep. The last thing I register is Sari's hand still clutching mine, an anchor in the storm. I drift in and out of consciousness as they transport me through the station. Voices fade in and out, urgent orders being given, the shuffling of many feet as prisoners are evacuated. Emergency shuttle prepped and ready. Load critical patients first. Scintari forces regrouping in central hub. Faster, people. We have 20 minutes maximum. I feel myself being lifted, secured to some kind of stretcher. The movement sends fresh waves of agony through me, despite whatever pain medication they have administered. I must make some sound, because Sari's voice is suddenly close to my ear. Hang on, Dad. Just hang on. The journey is a blur of motion and pain. Through half-closed eyes, I glimpse corridors I've traveled countless times in my delivery routes, now transformed by emergency lighting and the rush of escaping prisoners. Station personnel and former captives move with shared purpose: survive, escape, regroup. We reach the emergency shuttle bay, a cavernous space designed for rapid evacuation. 3 shuttles stand ready, their engines already powering up. Medical teams triage arriving wounded, directing critical cases to the first shuttle. "Get him on board," Dr. Park orders as we arrive. "He's priority one." I'm wheeled up the shuttle's ramp, Sari staying close by my side. The interior is utilitarian, with rows of seats converted to emergency medical berths. They secure my stretcher to a designated frame, medical monitors immediately attaching to track my vital signs. "Shuttle departure in 5 minutes," announces an automated voice. "All critical personnel aboard." Dr. Park moves efficiently, checking my vitals, adjusting medication, issuing instructions to her makeshift medical team. "Keep him stabilized until we reach Earth Defense Force range," she tells an assistant. "He needs proper surgical facilities, but we have to keep him alive until then." Earth Defense Force. The words penetrate my fog. Humanity's combined military presence in space, established after the first extrasolar contact decades ago. Help is coming. Sari settles into a seat beside my berth, her hand finding mine again. "We're almost out," she says. "Just stay with me." I try to focus on her face, to stay present, but the darkness is pulling stronger now. The medication, the trauma, the sheer exhaustion of the past days all combine to drag me under. The last thing I hear is the shuttle engines roaring to full power, the vibration thrumming through the deck beneath me as we break free from the station. Then nothing. I awaken to the steady beep of advanced medical monitors and the gentle hum of a ship much larger than an emergency shuttle. My body feels distant, disconnected, floating on a cloud of what must be extremely powerful painkillers. "He's coming around," says a voice I don't recognize. "Notify Dr. Park." I manage to open my eyes, finding myself in a proper medical bay with equipment far more sophisticated than Nexus Prime's facilities. An unfamiliar medic checks readings on the banks of monitors surrounding me. "Where?" I rasp, my throat raw. "Earth Defense Force vessel resilient," the medic replies, offering a small sip of water through a straw. "We intercepted your emergency transmission and were en route when the station partially exploded. You've been unconscious for 3 days. 3 days? I try to process this information through the haze of medication. "Sorry," I manage. "Your daughter is fine. She's been here almost constantly. We finally convinced her to get some rest about 2 hours ago." Relief washes through me. Sari is safe. That's all that matters. Dr. Park enters, looking exhausted but composed in a borrowed Earth Defense Force medical uniform. "Welcome back, Alex," she says, checking my vitals with practiced efficiency. "You've been giving us quite a scare." "How bad?" I ask, needing to know the extent of my injuries. Her expression sobers. "Severe spinal trauma at the T10, L1 junction. 3rd-degree radiation burns across approximately 40% of your body. Internal hemorrhaging. Multiple fractures." She pauses. "The Defense Force medical team has been working around the clock. You're stable now, but the damage is extensive." "Will I walk again?" The question I've been afraid to ask. Dr. Park hesitates, which is answer enough. "The damage to your spinal cord is severe. Conventional treatments have limitations. But Earth has medical technology we didn't have access to on the station. There are experimental neural regeneration therapies, prosthetic options. It's too soon to make definitive prognoses. So, that's a no, at least for now." I absorb this information with strange detachment, the drugs muting what should be devastating news. "Earth?" I ask, changing the subject. "Is it safe?" "Yes," she confirms. "The resonator was destroyed before deployment. The Scintari command ship was severely damaged in the explosion, forcing their fleet to retreat beyond lunar orbit. Defense Force says they're still out there, regrouping, but Earth has time to prepare now. Time bought with my spine, essentially. Fair trade." The station? Partially destroyed, but the majority of personnel evacuated safely. Captain Wells and the primary collaborators are in Defense Force custody. The rest of the survivors are being debriefed and treated for their experiences. I nod, processing it all. Then a thought strikes me. "They're calling me the Postman, aren't they?" Dr. Park smiles slightly. "News travels fast. Yes, that's the name that stuck. The Postman who saved Earth. There's already talk of commendations, medals." "Great," I mutter. "Just what I always wanted." She adjusts something on my IV. "You should rest now. Your body is still recovering from massive trauma. Sari will be back soon. She's been quite insistent about being here when you're awake." As if summoned by her name, the medical bay door slides open, and Sari appears. She looks different, cleaner, rested, wearing a standard Earth Defense Force jumpsuit rather than station clothes. Her eyes widen when she sees me conscious. "Dad?" She hurries to my bedside, relief written across her features. "About time you rejoined the land of the living." Dr. Park discreetly withdraws, giving us privacy. "Hey, kiddo," I manage, the simple words requiring surprising effort. Sari takes my hand, careful to avoid the IV lines. "How are you feeling?" "No, wait, that's a stupid question. You look like hell." "Should see the other guy," I joke weakly. "I did. Well, what was left of the resonator anyway." She sits on the edge of the bed. "You actually did it. Destroyed their weapon, damaged their ship, saved billions of lives. Not bad for a package delivery guy." "Just doing my job, special delivery and all that." She rolls her eyes, but there's a tremor in her voice when she speaks again. "I thought you were dead, you know. When the resonator exploded, there was this blinding light, and then everything was chaos, and you were just lying there." Sorry about that. The words feel inadequate for the trauma I put her through. "Dr. Park says you'll be stuck in bed for a while," she continues, clearly changing the subject to something less emotional. "But once you're stable enough for transfer, they're taking us back to Earth. The Defense Force wants to debrief us all, especially you." Earth, home, or what used to be home before I fled to space to escape my failing life. The thought is both comforting and terrifying. "What about you?" I ask. "Your university?" "Classes are on hold anyway. The whole planet's kind of reeling from the aliens tried to kill us all revelation." She shrugs. "I can restart next semester." I study her face, seeing determination there, but also something else. Fear, maybe. Uncertainty. "You don't have to stay with me, you know," I say gently. "I'll be fine." "I know," she replies, meeting my gaze. "But I want to. If that's okay." My throat tightens unexpectedly. More than okay. We sit in comfortable silence for a moment, the reality of our survival settling around us. Through the medical bay's viewport, I can see Earth, blue and beautiful and blessedly alive, rotating slowly against the blackness of space. "I was thinking," Sari says eventually, "when you're better, maybe I could help you find a place in Chicago, near my university, if you wanted." The offer hangs in the air between us, fragile and precious, a second chance, a new beginning. "I'd like that," I say quietly. She nods, blinking rapidly. "Good, that's good." Another silence, this one filled with possibility. "So," she says finally, a hint of her usual sass returning. "The postman, huh? You're going to be insufferable once the medals start coming in, aren't you?" I manage a weak laugh. "Absolutely. I'm planning to wear them with my delivery uniform. Really class up the joint." She smiles, and for a moment, I can almost forget the devastation of the past days. Almost forget the irreparable damage to my body. Almost believe in a future where my daughter and I rebuild what was broken long before any aliens arrived. The painkillers are pulling me under again, my brief period of lucidity fading. Sari notices immediately. "Get some rest, Dad," she says, squeezing my hand gently. "I'll be here when you wake up." As I drift towards sleep, I find myself thinking about packages. How the most important ones often look ordinary from the outside. How the contents can change lives, save worlds, forge connections across impossible distances. I may be broken, but I delivered when it mattered most. And somehow, against all odds, I've been given a second chance. Postage due, but worth every penny. Chapter 5, Return to Sender. 6 months after the invasion, and Earth is a different place. I watch the news reports from my recovery room at the Chicago Neural Rehabilitation Center, still trying to adjust to a world forever changed by the knowledge that we're not alone in the universe, and that not everyone out there is friendly. "The Scintari fleet remains in the outer solar system," reports the anchor, her face appropriately grave. Earth Defense Force officials confirm the alien vessels have maintained position beyond Neptune's orbit since retreating 3 months ago. Construction of additional orbital defense platforms continues ahead of schedule. I click away from the news. I've heard enough about orbital platforms and defense grids to last a lifetime. The The constant reminders of the Scintari's continued presence only feeds the nightmares that still wake me most nights. Visions of alien eyes, cracking crystal resonators, and blinding light. My room is comfortable enough, spacious, with large windows overlooking Lake Michigan and the Chicago skyline beyond. The walls are decorated with cards and letters from people I've never met, thanking me for what I did. The hero shelf, as Sari mockingly calls it, holds commendations from a dozen nations and organizations, including the Earth Unified Council's highest civilian honor. All very impressive for a package delivery guy with a ruined spine. I press the control that adjusts my specialized medical bed, raising myself to a more upright position. 6 months of intensive therapy, experimental neural treatments, and cutting-edge rehabilitation have restored some function to my lower body. I can move my toes now, even stand for short periods with support. The doctors call it remarkable progress. I call it agonizingly slow. At least the pain is manageable these days. The radiation burns have mostly healed, leaving scarred tissue across my back and legs. My internal injuries have mended, though multiple surgeries were required. Only the spinal damage remains stubbornly resistant to complete repair, despite the best Earth medicine can offer. A soft knock at the door interrupts my thoughts. "It's open," I call. Dr. Ellie Park enters, looking much more polished in her Earth medical uniform than she ever did on the station. She's been overseeing my rehabilitation personally, having accepted a position at this facility specifically to continue my treatment. "Morning, Alex," she greets, checking the monitors beside my bed with practiced efficiency. "How's the pain today?" "Scale of 1 to 10? 4, I reply honestly. We established early on that lying about pain levels only hinders treatment. She nods, making a note. "Better than yesterday. The new nerve regulator seems to be helping." "When can I try the exoskeleton again?" I ask, referring to the mobility assistance device that allows me to walk with support. "This afternoon, if your morning readings continue to improve." She offers a small smile. Impatient as always. "I have places to be, Doctor. Park." "Ellie," she corrects me, as she has 100 times before. "After saving Earth together, I think we're on a first-name basis." I return her smile. "Ellie, then, any word on the new neural pathway treatment?" Her expression grows more serious. "The Defense Force Medical Division has approved you for the trial. It's derived from adapted Scintari technology, of course. Their neural interfaces were far more advanced than ours." "Ironic," I mutter, "getting fixed with tech from the beings who broke me?" "More like poetic justice," she counters. "Jen Liu is part of the research team, you know. He says to tell you he's putting the bastard's tech to better use." I laugh at that. Jen has been channeling his anger at the Scintari into reverse engineering their technology, working with the Defense Force Scientific Division. According to Sari, he barely sleeps, driven by the memories of what happened on the station. "Speaking of visitors," Ellie continues, "you have one waiting. I told her to give us 10 minutes for your checkup." "Sari's back from Washington already?" "See for yourself." She steps to the door and opens it. Sari enters, her blue hair now styled in a short, professional cut that somehow still manages to look rebellious. She's wearing a formal outfit, dark slacks and blazer with the Earth Defense Force Civilian Liaison insignia. At 20, my daughter looks older than her years, the invasion having accelerated her journey to adulthood. "Hey, old man," she greets me with her usual mix of affection and sass, still lounging around while the rest of us work. "You know me," I reply, always looking for the easy way out. Ellie excuses herself, promising to return for the afternoon therapy session, and leaves us alone. Sari drops her official demeanor as soon as the door closes, throwing herself into the visitor's chair with a dramatic sigh. Government committees are the absolute worst. 5 hours discussing appropriate diplomatic protocols for potential future contact situations. Like the Scintari gave a damn about protocols when they tried to fry Earth's neural tissue. I've grown used to these debriefings. As one of the few humans who had extensive contact with the Scintari, Sari has become a valuable resource for the various agencies preparing Earth's defense and potential diplomatic strategies. "How's Julie doing?" I ask, changing the subject. Julie, the blue-haired girl initially mistaken for Sari, has become a close friend to my daughter in the months since the invasion. "Better," Sari says, her expression softening. "The nightmares are less frequent now. She started classes at Northwestern this semester. Art therapy is helping a lot. Many survivors of Nexus Prime suffer from post-traumatic stress, myself included. Some handled the experience better than others. Captain Wells, the station security chief, who collaborated with the Scintari, committed suicide in Defense Force custody 2 months after the invasion, leaving behind a rambling manifesto about inevitable alien superiority. And Miyuki, Raj, I ask about the resistance members who helped me sabotage the power junction. Both good. Miyuki's working with the Orbital Defense Engineering team. Raj joined the Xenobiology division, says understanding alien physiology might help us develop better defenses next time. Next time. The words hang in the air between us, not if, but when. Earth is preparing for the Scintari's return, a reality we all live with now. Any progress on the apartment hunting? I ask, steering us toward more practical matters. Sari brightens. Actually, yes. Found a ground floor 2-bedroom in Evanston, fully accessible, less than 20 minutes from my campus. The Defense Force Resettlement Fund covers the rent for the first year. One of many perks of being the postman who saved Earth. The government is eager to show its appreciation in tangible ways. The medical care, the housing assistance, the lifetime pension, all of it designed to ease my transition back to civilian life. After so many years of struggling to make ends meet, the financial security feels almost as alien as the Scintari themselves. Sounds perfect, I say, genuinely pleased. When can we see it? That's the best part, she grins. I've scheduled a virtual tour for tomorrow, and the building manager says it could be ready within 2 weeks, once all the accessibility modifications are complete. 2 weeks. By then, I should be proficient enough with the exoskeleton to manage basic independent living. The experimental neural pathway treatment might accelerate progress even further. For the first time in months, I feel a spark of genuine excitement about the future. I've been thinking, Sari continues, suddenly serious, about what happens after you're discharged. You mean, besides becoming the poster boy for Earth's Vigilance Against Alien Threats public awareness campaign? I joke. She doesn't laugh. I mean, about us, living together. I know it was the plan when you were first injured, but that was emergency mode, crisis thinking. If you'd rather have your own place. Sorry, I interrupt gently. I want this. United States. A chance to actually be your father again. Not just a voice on the comm and a mandatory holiday visit. Her eyes glisten slightly. You sure? Because I'm not exactly the easiest roommate. I leave dishes in the sink and play music too loud, and I snore and take forever in the bathroom and have nightmares that wake the neighbors. I finish for her. We'll figure it out. She nods, blinking rapidly. Okay, good. We sit in comfortable silence for a moment, both a little embarrassed by the emotional turn in the conversation. Decker men and women aren't known for our open expression of feelings. Oh, almost forgot, Sari says suddenly, reaching into her bag. I got you something. She pulls out a small package wrapped in simple brown paper and places it on my lap. I pick it up, surprised by its negligible weight. What's the occasion? I ask. 6 months since you saved Earth, she replies. Seemed worth marking? I unwrap it carefully. Inside is a name badge like I used to wear on my postal uniform, but this one is different. Instead of Alex Decker, Package Verification Specialist, it reads The Postman, Earth Delivery Specialist, with a small image of the planet engraved beside it. I laugh, genuinely delighted by the absurdity. You're never going to let me live this down, are you? Not a chance, she grins. Someone has to keep your ego in check, all these medals and commendations going to your head. I'm no hero, I say automatically. Just a dash. A package guy with a bad knee, I know. She finishes the sentence for me. Except now you've got 2 bad knees, a damaged spine, and 38 new scars. Plus, you kinda saved humanity. So, maybe update your bio a little. I turn the badge over in my hand, feeling its weight. Never thought I'd amount to much, I admit quietly. Just trying to make child support payments, keep my head above water. Now, people want my autograph. You were always my hero, Sari says softly, then quickly adds, before the divorce anyway. Then you were kind of a jerk for a while. I laugh again, the sound easier now than it was months ago. Fair enough. We fall into another comfortable silence, watching the afternoon sun cast long shadows across Lake Michigan. Having my daughter here makes the sterile rehabilitation facility feel almost like home. After a while, Sari speaks again. They're talking about rebuilding Nexus Prime, or something like it. A joint Earth-Mars venture this time, with better defensive capabilities. Would you go back? I ask, curious. She shakes her head firmly. Number. I'm staying Earthside for the foreseeable future. The blue planet's grown on me again. What about you? If you could, hypothetically, would you return to space? I consider the question seriously. 6 months ago, I would have said yes without hesitation. Space was my escape, my fresh start. But now? No, I say finally. I think I've delivered all the packages I need to, up there. Her smile is worth every moment of pain endured on that station. Speaking of deliveries, I continue, when do I get to try this fancy new neural treatment? I've got an accessible apartment to move into, apparently. Eager to get rid of your nurse, doctor. Park? Sari teases. Ellie is not my nurse, I protest, perhaps too quickly. Sari hums knowingly. She just happens to visit twice as often as required by your treatment plan, and brings you real coffee, and laughs at your terrible jokes. I feel heat rising to my face. She's being professional, thorough. Sure, Dad. Super professional to blush every time you compliment her surgical technique. Before I can formulate a suitably dignified response, the door opens and Ellie, Dr. Park, enters, pushing a medical cart with the neural regulator equipment. Ready for your afternoon session? She asks brightly. I've made some adjustments to the protocol that might accelerate your progress. Sari stands, grinning insufferably. I'll leave you two to your protocol adjustments. I've got another meeting anyway. Earth's defense plans wait for no woman. To Ellie, she adds, make sure he practices with the exoskeleton today. He's motivated. We found an apartment. That's wonderful news, Ellie replies, already preparing equipment with practiced efficiency. Sari pauses at the door, her expression softening. See you tomorrow for the virtual tour. Wouldn't miss it, I promise. After Sari leaves, Ellie begins connecting sensors to my legs and back, her touch professional but gentle. She's quite something, your daughter. Takes after her mother, I reply. All the fire, none of the patience. I see plenty of you in her too, Ellie counters. The determination, the loyalty, the way she tilts her chin when challenging authority. I hadn't noticed that particular similarity. The thought warms me unexpectedly. Now, Ellie continues, activating the neural regulator. Let's see if we can get these pathways responding. The new treatment protocol is showing promising results in similar cases. As the therapy session progresses, I find myself thinking about packages again. How some arrive damaged, but still intact enough to fulfill their purpose. How sometimes the journey matters more than the condition upon arrival. My body may never fully recover from what happened on Nexus Prime, but I delivered when it mattered most, to Earth, to humanity, to Sari. And now, against all odds, I've been given a return address, a place to go, a future to build. The neural regulator hums, sending pulses through my damaged spine. I feel a faint twitch in muscles long dormant, a whisper of returning function. Ellie smiles encouragingly, recording the response. Progress, she says, satisfaction evident in her voice. Definite progress. Outside my window, Earth continues its ancient spin, unaware how close it came to devastation. Somewhere far beyond Neptune, the Scintari watch and wait, perhaps planning their return. But today, in this quiet medical room, with the afternoon sun streaming through the windows, even that distant threat feels manageable. I have delivered, I have returned, and this time, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. The package guy is finally home.
Every story has an end, but there's always another waiting to be told. Subscribe to Steve's Stories for more sci-fi, dystopian, and war-driven adventures, from short tales to full novels. Like the video, hit the bell, and join me on this journey through worlds unknown.